Next time, I'm curious what happens when they see the ice cream truck and the music isn't playing. Does the kid then think that the ice cream truck is full of ice cream and demand a special treat? Give me a call, 888-322-8465. I want to know, when have you had to fib to your kid, or when were you told a little white lie as a child to make the truth a little easier to swallow? Kathy in California, thanks for calling, Kathy. So what's your story?
Hey, Katie. So, driving under power lines, you watch the light bounce down the line.
Uh-huh.
I had my 7-year-old daughter in the back of the car, and I said, oh, look, someone's getting a phone call. Didn't think anything about it. Years go by. She's a sophomore in high school. We drive under power lines, and I hear her tell the carload of girls, but look, someone's getting a phone call.
So she believed it. She believed it the whole time.
It was one of those things you just say, oh, look, one of those funny things. Never thought she'd remember it or think it was true.
Oh yeah, deeply, deeply held beliefs. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it almost, if nothing else, it teaches us to be really careful, because our kids will parrot it back later on. Like, what we think is just some silly, goofy little thing, they're holding on as gospel truth.
Exactly. So, good job, Katie.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in. Happy to have you, Kathy. Have a great day. My dad, he does this trick. He'll still do it to this day. Like, when we would go under an overpass, like we'd go under the overpass, like on the interstate, and if it was raining, he would snap his fingers when we'd go right under the overpass to like stop the rain. And when I was a kid, I believed that my dad could stop the rain. I didn't realize it was just because the vehicle was covered in that moment, because he always timed it so perfectly to snap his fingers and stop the rain. And I mean, I was like well into like 4th or 5th grade before it clicked that this was just like this silly little trick that he was doing to make us laugh in the car and to think like, oh my gosh, my dad is Superman. Give me a call, 888-322-8465. I'd love to hear from you. What fib have you told your kid? Again, like harmless, silly little joke. This is on my mind because I had to look at Rose before I left on Sunday morning and said, like, I'm sorry, baby, but I'm not going to have any fun whatsoever. And if that is not true. I'm having the time of my life here in Clear Lake, Iowa. I'm broadcasting from a state-of-the-art studio. It's really, really cool. I am, of course, missing my family, but I'm not having fun. And I tried to convince my kid that I'm not going to have any fun. So give me a call, 888-322-8465. Denise in Maryland. Thanks for calling, Denise. What's your story?
Hi, Katie. I am calling because last year my son's kindergarten teacher had built up this whole thing that they were going to get visited by a leprechaun in their classroom, right? And so he's talking about the leprechaun coming, but then we had COVID shutdown.
Right.
So then he thinks that the leprechaun's going to come to our house. And I was in my 3rd trimester with my 4th son, and with the lockdown and everything, I just couldn't do it. So I had to tell him that the leprechaun could not come because of the corona.
Hey.
He called it.
I mean,
and
he had to quarantine.
He just couldn't do it. And so for this year, though, I had to have a leprechaun visit. So hopefully we'll have to have a visiting leprechaun too long. But
well, I mean, you got to make it work. You got to do what you got to do. Thanks so much for calling, Denise. I think that's a great one. You just, sorry, buddy, he had to quarantine. He tested positive. We'll see him next year after the 2-week window, and he's got 2 positive tests, or maybe after he's gotten his shot. Who knows? Thanks for calling, Denise. Happy to have you on the show.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one. Oh no, sorry, buddy, COVID. My daughter actually just the other day, Rose saw a rainbow out in the yard, and she freaked out, like, Mom, Dad, look at the rainbow. And I mean, it was beautiful. It was like a really powerful, strong. It had been raining like all week long, so I'm really glad we finally got to see something pretty in the sky. We come inside for dinner and we go back out, and of course the rainbow's now gone. Like, the clouds have moved in. We can't see the rainbow anymore. And Rose was very sad, very upset, like forlornly walking through the outside, walking through the yard, like swinging on the swing by herself, like just really upset. And she was like, Mom, why do rainbows come and go? And I was like, oh, baby, rainbows are just a special message from heaven. Somebody just wanted to say hello to you. It was kind of a long pause, and she said, well, who was saying hi? I said, Grandma Libby. Grandma Libby was saying hello. Well, where'd Grandma Libby go? Oh, she went back to go play with Jesus. So, like, not the truth, right? That's not why rainbows appear in the sky with the refractions of light. But, not an entirely wrong thing to say to a little 3.5-year-old kid who saw this beautiful rainbow and needs to be comforted because the rainbow faded away. Give me a call, 888-322-8465. When have you had to bend the truth with your kids or tell a little fib to make something a little easier for them to understand? Maryland and South Carolina. Thanks for calling, Maryland. What's your story?
Yes. When my children were small, some of the shopping centers would have the amusement, rides for the weekend. And
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
told my kids that they were for the workers that weren't in the shopping center.
So they couldn't go.
Yeah, they never looked safe to me.
Yeah, they probably weren't. Let's be real.
Yeah, and they believed it for years, but now they throw it up in my face.
Well, and I'm sure they've done it to their own kids as well. That's a good one, though. That's a funny one. Thanks for calling in, Maryland.
Okay, bye-bye.
That's a good one. On more than one occasion, like Rose is asked to go somewhere, and I'll just, rather than say oh, we don't have time, I'll just say, oh, that place is closed today. And it's definitely not closed. Parks are rarely closed, but you just have to kind of make it a little easier to move on. My friend Katie Ruby shared on Twitter, her mom sent her a box of chocolates from this really fancy candy place, and she doesn't want her kids eating them, so she told them that they were laxatives. And then she commented, "I am not sorry." That's a good one. No, sorry, buddy. You can't have these. You can't have these candies. They're gonna make you run to the bathroom. That's a really good one. Big fan of that one. I think maybe she'll call in and tell us a little bit more about the laxative candies. Who knows? Janine in California. Thanks for calling in, Janine. What's your story?
Hi, Katie. I have 3 grown young adults now, and they're all really close in age. And when they were younger, my husband always worked these really, really long hours. And this one day I thought, we're getting close to bedtime, and I thought, I just need them to go to bed. I went around the house, and I changed all the clocks by like an hour, and I walked them around the house, and I said, look, it's night-night time. See, that was night-night time.
That's good.
I just needed a break.
You just needed a rest.
Yes, and they since know that story, but it worked, and I'm so happy.
Hey, now I have to ask though, did it backfire? Did they end up waking up earlier because you put them in earlier?
I remember. Nope, not at all. I was also the same mom who fed my kids dessert before dinner. And my husband's long hours, and sometimes he would evidently walk in the door when I was putting all 3 to bed. And I'd be like, oh, no, this cannot happen. So I would make sure they had the dessert and sugar out of the way before they ate dinner. And I have to say the funniest part of this is my kids are such healthy eaters at the crack up.
That's a good one. So changing the clocks. Did they know how to tell time? That's my main question.
Well, at that point, I'm not sure.
You could have told them anything, right? You could have just convinced them of anything.
This is my first 4 years to waking up. For the first 3 months of our life, my husband worked 18-hour days during part of that time.
Yeah,
and literally, I think he woke me up 6 times a night till I rolled over and said, "Oh dear God, I just need 3 hours in a row."
I just need a break. That's a good one, all of it, Janine. Thanks so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Katie. I've really enjoyed your show.
Thanks so much. All right, here she is, Katie in Indiana. Tell us about these chocolates, my friend.
Okay, so there are these awesome chocolates that come from this special chocolate baking place in Arizona, and I moved to Indiana, so I'm not able to get them easily. My mom mailed them to me, and I don't want my kids eating them because they're little monsters, so I've told them all that they're laxatives.
Do they know what laxatives do? Or have you just told them these are not good for your tummy?
Oh no, I have explained in detail what a laxative is.
And they've avoided them like the plague.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. That's a good one. What's the name of these candies? I'm going to have to try to get some if they're that good to lie to your kids about bathroom trips.
The place is called Cerretas, and it's like Cerretas, and
Okay.
it's French mints, I think they're called.
Nice. Okay. And I'm sure they're expensive.
Well, it's like $20 to have a box mailed to you.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. No, sorry kids, you can't have those.
Yeah, that's enough for you.
I'm gonna have to use that. So my mother-in-law always brings us these. I don't even know what they're called. They're like these peanut butter We call them nudges. I know that's not the name of the candy, but we just call them little nudges. And they're like peanut butter cups, but not really. They're better than peanut butter cups. And we have to hide them from Rose because she'll just like eat a handful of them. And it's like these are a delicacy that Nana brings to mommy and daddy, not for Rosie. I have to explain that you will spend hours on the toilet if you even so much as look at mommy and daddy's nudges.
Right, but then now I have like the incredible concern of my children. They're like, why is mommy always peeing?
She's constantly on the potty. That's a good one. All right, Katie. Great to have you on the show. Thanks for calling.
But
That's a good one. Okay, so have you told your kids that something is a laxative? Have you convinced your child that when the ice cream truck goes past and the music is playing, that actually the ice cream truck is all sold out of ice cream? Have you told them that all the toys at Target are actually not for sale, they're just for display? Give me a call. Lucy in New York. Thanks for calling, Lucy. What is your fib to your kids?
When they were little, they came home from school and they were terrified that the leprechaun was going to come to our house and prank us.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I told them that it's okay. We're Dominican. He only goes to Irish house. They were really? Yeah, and the reason he went to school is because you have so many Irish friends. They said, we're safe. We're safe. They were.
I love it. All right, so the leprechaun discriminates, but that's okay because it keeps you safe.
Yeah, I didn't tell them we were Catholic.
No, it's just the Dominican blood protects us. I love it. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Lucy. Thanks for calling. Have a great day.
Thank you.
These are all good. These are great. I mean, the phone lines have been lighting up because I think this is something that we all have. I'm going to say this very strangely here. I think we all have in common, especially if we have little kids, that like you just have to survive the day sometimes. And sometimes surviving the day means convincing a kid of like some weird thing. Like not a falsehood, you're not lying, you're just bending the truth just a little bit so that, it makes the answer of no a little easier, or like in my instance, like convincing my 3-year-old that I wasn't going to have any fun whatsoever because, I'm away from her. Marsha in Kentucky, thanks for calling, Marsha. What is a time you've had to fib to your kid?
When my children were 2, 3 years old and I didn't want to pick them up and carry them, I told them that I couldn't carry them because I had a bone in my arm.
Yeah, you had a bone in your arm. Well, then you do have a bone in your arm. That's not a lie. It's just, not a...
Oh yeah, now they're grown and old.
Hey, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to get through the day. Marsha, thanks so much for calling in. Have a great day, Marsha. So she wouldn't carry her kids when she didn't want to, or when she had her hands full, when she was doing other things. And she should just say, I'm sorry, mommy's got a bone in her arm and she can't carry you. We tell these little fibs to make things a little easier for kids. I think it kind of unites us. Like I feel a little less bad to, have told my kid that I'm not going to have any fun with her while I'm not going to have any fun without her when I'm certainly having a good old time up here in Clear Lake, Iowa at the Kingman Production Studios. I don't know. Maybe sometimes we tell these little fibs to our kids to make things a little easier to explain, like, oh, a rainbow is just somebody saying hello to you, or, oh, no, sorry, the ice cream truck's all sold out of ice cream, or, oh, those candies are actually laxative, you don't want to touch those. We do what we got to do to survive, and sometimes as parents, we just need to feel a little less alone. I'm so glad to have you with me. We're going to take a quick break and then come on back and speak to a survivor